It is time for Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online tonight. The Royals welcome the Trojans from Newcastle, a first ever meeting between these two schools, and you can watch it all unfold tonight on Audio Sports Online. Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Scott. Welcome to our Tuesday night affair here from Hamilton Southeastern High School as the Royals welcome a very, very good Newcastle Trojan team. The Trojans come in with a record of 13-3. Meanwhile, Hamilton Southeastern, fresh off their win Saturday against Westfield, is now 15-4. And the Royals are going to have a very, very big stretch of games to close out the season, including tonight. They have 5 games left on the schedule, 3 at home, 2 on the road. And it all begins tonight with Newcastle. Then Hamilton Southeastern will be on the road this Friday against the Carmel Greyhounds before wrapping up the season with a big game here against Pike on Tuesday. And then on next Friday, they will have their final road game of the season when they take on the Brownsburg Bulldogs before wrapping up everything against Lawrence North. So a big stretch of games before heading into sectional play. And, of course, sectional draws will be announced here next weekend. So a big set of games, and it all begins tonight against a team that is the first time ever that Hamilton Southeastern has taken on the Trojans from Newcastle. Newcastle, as I mentioned, have a record of 13-3. Their head coach is Daniel Cox in his 4th year at the helm of the Trojans, and they are coming off of a win against Batesville when they defeated Batesville by the score of 65-42. Trojans jumped out to an early 20-7 lead, led 33-13 at the half, and cruised the rest of the way. They had 3 players score in double figures, led by sophomore Mason Gillis with 17 points. Senior David Froge had 15, and junior Nia Williamson, he had 12 points. The Trojans were 9 of 17 from beyond the arc against Batesville, and very good at the free throw line. They were 12 of 13. They had grabbed 23 boards, and much like what we see from Hamilton Southeastern, they got a fair amount of points off of assists, having 13 assists against Batesville. They'll come in on a bit of a winning streak because Newcastle has been on a streak, and this is something that we've seen them go on a streak to begin the season. They had 7 straight wins. They've won their last 2, and they have won 6 out of their last 8 with a very close overtime loss to Connorsville thrown in, and then only a 3-point loss to Carmel. So this is a very good Newcastle team coached by Coach Cox. And like I said, they just played on Saturday themselves when they they won at Batesville. So a good test for Hamilton Southeastern as we get ready to close out the season. And meanwhile, Hamilton Southeastern, they've had some issues, especially scoring the basketball the last few games, and they got off to a strong start against Westfield on Saturday, where Hamilton Southeastern scored the first 10 points in the game, but then only to watch Westfield bounce back. And at the end of the first quarter of play, the Shamrocks led by 2, 20-18. But Southeastern has a strong second quarter, and eventually they win by 11, 75-64. Zach Gunn led the Royals, the senior, with 24 points. Senior Jack Davidson had 19, and Noah Smith had 10 points for Hamilton Southeastern. Royals were able to get some points from beyond the arc against the Shamrocks. They were 9 of 17 from beyond the arc, and they went to the line 23 times. And while Southeastern this year has been a very, very good free throw shooting team, they really weren't all that great against the Shamrocks, hitting only 16 of 23 from the line. Normally, Hamilton Southeastern has been around an 80% free throw shooting team on the season. We've seen that average now dip to 79%. And Southeastern still doing an excellent job getting assists and making them getting a lot of their points off of good decisions being made with the basketball. They had 17 assists in a game against the Shamrocks. The one negative, they also had 18 turnovers, and that's something this Hamilton Southeastern team really hasn't been doing all season long. For the most part, they've been keeping a good tab on the basketball, but they had 18 turnovers against the Shamrocks, though they did get 10 steals, and they out-rebounded the Shamrocks 26-20 on Saturday. But offense has been the issue for Hamilton Southeastern over the past few games. And you go back to the Columbus North game, they had some issues there against the Bulldogs, and they started off a hot streak against the Shamrocks, but also found themselves running into some ruts once again until the fourth quarter when both teams really shot the lights out. Both teams scored 25 points in the fourth and final quarter. And again, Hamilton Southeastern was able to hang on for that 11-point win against Westfield. So tonight they'll be facing a very, very good Newcastle team. And when we look at Newcastle coming into tonight's game, they're averaging about 65 points per game. And they do a very good job on the glass, averaging about 26 rebounds per game. And much like Southeastern, they like to get points off of assists. They're averaging over 12 assists per game and almost 6 steals per game. What they don't do is they don't have much of a rim protector. We saw that with Hamilton Southeastern until the Westfield game. They weren't doing a very good job against the Bulldogs, excuse me. Get my days straight here, folks. Westfield, they didn't have many block shots, but against the Bulldogs, they did have quite a few blocks in that game. But as we come into tonight's game with the Trojans, again, Trojans, they are not a big, prolific shot blocking team. What they do is they shoot about 70% from the free throw line, and they're shooting about 37% from beyond the arc, and they will take quite a few threes as we are getting ready for some basketball here tonight from Hamilton Southeastern High School. It is, of course, the Hamilton Southeastern Youth Leagues are being recognized before tonight's game. So let's continue on talking about what we've been seeing out of Hamilton Southeastern. Of course, leading scorer is Zach Gunn with averaging now just under 21 points and 9 rebounds per game. And Southeastern, we've been watching that scoring average dip over the last 3 or 4 to 5 games. They're now still shooting and scoring very well, almost 73 points per game and averaging 30 rebounds per game. So doing a good job off the glass. A lot of that can be, of course, attributed to Zach Gunn. We've seen Noah Smith increase his scoring percentage. He's now averaging just shy of 9 points, but his rebounding and his assists have been going up, and he's also doing very well from the free throw line. Jack Davidson is the second leading scorer on this Southeastern team, averaging just shy of 13 points a game and a little over 3 assists, just under a couple of rebounds. He's shooting 55% from beyond the three-point arc. That's actually better than his field goal percentage, which is about 56% on the season. And, of course, Davidson has been lights out from the free throw line. He is 58 of 63 from the line for the season, shooting 92%. What Coach Brian Satterfield has been looking for this season, however, is some help from the other guard positions. Austin Holtzum will get the start tonight. This will be his 4th consecutive start. Austin had 3 points against Westfield, a couple of rebounds, assists, a couple of steals, and was 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. And Austin on the season averaging a little over 3 points and just under 2 assists per game. They've also will have Noah Smith and Jack Davidson as the 3 guards. Aaron Etherington will get the start at forward. Aaron had 9 points against Westfield, including a couple of 3-point baskets and 5 rebounds. Aaron on the season averaging over 8 points a game and almost 4 rebounds per game for Coach Brian Satterfield. Not doing too bad from beyond the arc either, as he's shooting about 38% from beyond the arc and 76% from the free throw line. But some of the guard play is what Coach Brian Satterfield has been looking for. We've seen an increase in Nick Bowman's minutes over the past few games. Bowman had 2 points against Westfield and a rebound. So the scoring has been a bit of a concern for Brian Satterfield over these past few games. We'll see if he can do it against what has traditionally been a very, very good, as I mentioned, Newcastle team this season. As we get ready for action, the Royals have made it onto the court. We mentioned the Newcastle Trojans at 13-3, averaging about 65 points per game, but they're only giving up about 51 points per game. So a very, very good defensive basketball team, something that Hamilton Southeastern, they're going to have to work for their shots and have to be patient in their sets. I'm sure a lot of it is going to come down to, can they get the ball down low to Zach Gunn, see if he can do some work inside, get down easy points in the paint, down in the low blocks, and then kick it out and hopefully get some players such as Jack Davidson open for some easy looks from beyond the arc. Newcastle, as I mentioned, giving up just a little under 51 points. And when we take a look at their 3 losses this season, as I mentioned, a close 1-point loss at Connorsville, the 3-point loss to Carmel, and a 2-point loss to Mount Vernon. That's it. So 3 losses by a grand total of about 5 points for the Newcastle Trojans. They are a very, very good basketball team. This will be a very, very tough test for the Hamilton Southeastern Royals. Hamilton Southeastern comes in tonight averaging just shy of, as I mentioned, 73 points per game, and they're giving up about 61 points per game. One of the weaknesses Hamilton Southeastern has had most of this season is their ability to defend the 3. And this is going to be a team that's going to put up a few 3-point baskets against the Royals tonight. As I mentioned, this is a start of a big final 5 games for Hamilton Southeastern. They'll play Newcastle tonight before traveling to Carmel on Friday. And then they will be back home next Tuesday as they will be taking on Pike before wrapping up their road schedule next Friday night at Brownsburg, and then wrapping things up on the 23rd with Lawrence North back here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. So a very, very crucial stretch of 5 games for Brian Satterfield and the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, but also a very, very good test heading into sectionals. These will be 5 very, very tough opponents that Hamilton Southeastern will be facing before they head into sectional play. And I'm sure Coach Satterfield, if they can go on a good note here, win 4 out of 5, I'm sure, of course, they would love to win 5 out of 5, but at least win 4 out of 5. A big test coming up, of course, Friday against Carmel. I think he would be very pleased with how the Royals look as they begin to head into sectional play coming up at the end of the month. And speaking of sectionals, we like to tip our hats to Chris Huppenthal's Lady Royals. Their season came to a close as they fell in the sectional championship game against the defending state champion Carmel Greyhounds. So, but a good season for Coach Huppenthal and the Royals, and we offer our congratulations to them. Before we give you our starting lineups, let's give you tonight's national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
It is our national anthem and a fine rendition of it as we get ready for basketball here from Hamilton Southeastern High School. And once again, a very, very good Tuesday evening. I'm Brian Scott. Let's give you our starting lineups as we get ready for basketball tonight here from Hamilton Southeastern High School in a matchup that, again, should be a very, very good matchup. A couple of teams that have played some very, very good basketball, and they'll come into tonight really, really looking to see what they can do against one another as we get ready. First off, the Newcastle Trojans come in with a record of 13-3. Their head coach is Daniel Cox in his 4th year at the helm of the Trojans. He is 48-36, and his starting lineup will start at a guard as a 6-foot sophomore, Luke Bumbelow. At guard is a 6-foot senior, David Froge. The third guard is a 6'2 junior, Niall Williamson. At forward is a 6'6 senior, Titan Bennett. And the other forward is a 6'6 sophomore, Mason Gillis. So the backcourt will have Bumbelow, Froge, and Williamson. The front court is Gillis and Bennett, and that is the starting lineup for the Newcastle Trojans. For the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, the head coach is Brian Satterfield in his 16th year at the helm of the Royals. He's 254 and 115 in those 16 seasons. His lineup will have, starting at a guard, a 6'1 sophomore, Noah Smith. At the other guard, a 6-foot senior, Jack Davidson. The third guard, a 6'1 senior, Austin Holtzum. At forward, a 6'6 sophomore, Aaron Etherington. And at forward, a 6'7 senior, Zach Gunn. So once again, the backcourt, Davidson, Holtzum, Smith, and the front court, Etherington and Gunn. Those are your starting lineups as we get ready for basketball tonight from Hamilton Southeastern High School. A fairly good-sized front court for the Trojans, even though they are not very good at blocking shots. But they will provide some size problems to match up for Hamilton Southeastern, though Zach Gunn, a very strong presence there down low. We'll see how he does tonight. We're getting ready for basketball. The Trojans are in the road green uniforms with white numerals and white lettering and white trim. The Royals in their home whites with royal blue numerals and royal blue trim. Zach Gunn will be jumping center against Mason Gillis, and we're about ready for basketball. Pull up a chair. We hope you enjoy Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online. Not a bad crowd for a Tuesday night. A lot going on here at Hamilton Southeastern tonight, where the diving regionals are being held here tonight. And Newcastle, they brought a pretty good contingent over across the way, clad in green, to cheer on their Trojans. And this is the first time these two teams have ever faced one another. So these two teams, a lot of basketball history, but the first time they have ever faced one another on the hardwoods. And Hamilton Southeastern will have the basketball to begin the contest as they win the opening tip. And Noah Smith will feed Zach Gunn down low. Gunn fade away from about 10 feet. It's no good. And getting the rebound is Titan Bennett. And here come the Trojans. They'll send it to the corner. The three is on its way. That's no good off of the hands of Niall Williamson. Gunn gets the rebound, and Southeastern brings it into the front court. The three by Etherington's no good, and David Froge will take it, and both teams go empty on their possessions on each end, and here comes the Trojans. Just underway, getting down low is Mason Gillis, and he's going to be called for steps, trying to get a couple of pump fakes and ball fakes in there, and is called for traveling. Just underway here at Hamilton Southeastern, both teams empty on their first few possessions as Etherington finds Holtzum. They're cleared out on the left side. Davidson cuts through the lane, but they'll send the ball to the opposite side. Smith finds Davidson on a curl, gives it back to Noah. Noah finds Etherington all alone. He'll lay it up off the glass, and Etherington has the first points as Aaron Etherington gets the bucket. It's 2-0 Southeastern as they go immediately to the 2-2-1. The Trojans have the basketball. They'll send it to the corner. 3-ball on the way. That is up. That is good off the hands of Niall Williamson. That three gives the Trojans a quick 1-point lead with 6:36 left to go first quarter as Etherington finds Smith in the lane, lays it up, left hand too strong, ball's loose, and it will go off of Hamilton Southeastern as Titan Bennett fighting with it for Zach Gunn, and they say the ball went off the hands of the senior Gunn, and basketball belongs to the Trojans, up 3-2 with 6:21 remaining in the first quarter. Getting around a screen is Froge. He'll send the ball back around the other way. They'll come back down to Gillis. Gillis working against Etherington. Etherington pokes it away, and they'll have to send it back up top to Bumbelow. Bumbelow, left side, back to Gillis again. Works on Etherington in the lane. Right-hand runner is up and good by Mason Gillis. Gillis gets the bucket, and the Trojan lead is 3 at 5-2. Here's Davidson in the lane. Left-hand scoop, no good. Tip by Smith is no good, and the rebound comes down to Williamson. Trojans bring the ball back the other way. They try to get it down low, and the foul's going to be committed as David Froge was trying to kick the ball back out, and he's going to be pushed from behind. It will go against Aaron Etherington, and for Aaron, that's his first and the first team foul against Southeastern. 5-2, Trojans with the basketball in the three-point lead, and here's the three just short by Gillis and cleared by Smith. Noah into the front court, leaves it to Etherington. Thought about the three, will go left side to Holtzum. He wants to give it to Gunn. Instead, will reverse the basketball, and they'll get it back to Gunn. Three to left wing is up, no good. Rebounded by Titan Bennett of the Trojans. Gives it to Bumbelow. They come right side. Three on the way, no good. That's David Froge, and Gunn has the rebound. A lot of threes so far early on in this contest by the Trojans, but they lead by 3, and as Noah Smith makes a move on Bumbelow, a whistle and a foul is going to be called against the Trojans. It will go against Luke Bumbelow. That's his first, and the first team foul called against the Trojans. With 5:12 left to go, opening quarter, Southeastern trails by 3. Smith, the low blocks, sends it out to Davidson, now to Etherington. Etherington picked up by Bennett and sent it to Holtzum. Lob into Gunn, and Gunn will finish it off the rim. Zach Gunn with his first points of the game, averaging 20.8 on the season, and the Royals immediately go into a press, trailing by 1. Here's another three on its way. This one is good as Nia Williamson has his second three-point basket to double up the lead on Hamilton Southeastern by 4, 8-4. Smith to Etherington. Etherington left side to Holtzum. Lob down to Gunn, and once again, Royals work it to perfection as Gunn gets the second bucket. They swing it around to Holtzum on the near side, who is able to make the entry pass to Gunn, and Gunn's two quick baskets, and a little too easy there for David Froge as he just kind of walked down the left side of the lane and got the easy jumper. 10-6 in favor of Newcastle. Etherington has to kick it out to Gunn. Gunn in the lane, looked for the contact, didn't get a whistle, and here comes Newcastle the other way. Long range three, that's up, no good by Froge, and the rebound comes down to Zach Gunn, and the Royals now will slow things down with 3:50 left to go in the first quarter, trailing 10-6. And now a whistle, and they're going to get Noah Smith on an offensive foul. For Smith, his first, team foul number 2 against Hamilton Southeastern. And Aaron Etherington Connor Rotterman will come in. He'll replace Austin Holtzum. 3:45 left to go. First quarter, Royals trail by 4. Newcastle with the basketball. This is Gillis, works on Etherington, has his shot rejected by Gunn. Here comes Smith, left side to Etherington. Etherington misses the break, and Gillis gets the rebound for the Trojans. Missed the shot on the break, pull-up three on its way. That's long off the iron by Bumbelow. Here comes Smith the other way. Left side to Etherington. They'll skip it over to the right side. Rotterman's three on the way. That's short. And coming away with it is Titan Bennett for the Trojans. Back and forth we go. And coming up the other way, nobody stopped the basketball. And Luke Bumbelow is going to get an easy bucket. And the lead is doubled up once again as the Newcastle Trojans lead the Hamilton Southeastern Royals by the score of 12-6. As Coach Brian Satterfield will take a full timeout with 3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Neither team doing a very good job shooting the ball, but we're getting a lot of shots up as both teams getting up and down the court relatively quickly, and we've seen Newcastle doing a big, making it a point to try to get those shots from beyond the arc. And like I said, coming into this contest, they took over 220 three-point shots coming into the game, so you knew they liked to jack it up. 284 on the season, and connecting on 37% of them. So a team that likes to put up the three, and we've seen that in the early going here from Hamilton Southeastern. And out of the timeout for Coach Brian Satterfield, Chad Birchfield is now in. He joins Jack Davidson, Zach Gunn, Noah Smith, Connor Rotterman. 12-6 in favor of Newcastle. Here's Noah Smith. He'll lose the basketball, and they'll say it went off of the Trojans, and it will belong to Hamilton Southeastern. As Davidson will trigger the inbound. They're looking to get Gunn. He's tied up with Gillis as the officials talk to him. Davidson lobs it, and nobody home. Newcastle comes away with a basketball block, but following and trailing the play was Mason Gillis. He missed. Williamson had his shot blocked by Zach Gunn, but Gillis trailed the play and got the bucket. It's now 14-6. Chaz Birchfield's 12-footer is good from the baseline to end a bit of a run there as Birchfield gets his first points of the contest. 14-8, 2:26 remains. Gillis kicks it out left side. Three from the wing, that's short, but Gillis gets the rebound for Newcastle. He'll work, spin in the lane, leaves it on the rim, and Gunn has the rebound for Southeastern. He'll throw it to Smith, right side. Noah in the lane, tries to scoop up the layup. He's well short, and there's Zach Gunn to pick up the loose ball. Gunn gets the bucket. He now has 6, and the deficit's now 4 for the Royals as we hit the 2-minute mark left to go in the first quarter of play. Bumbelow leaves it for Williamson. They get it down low to Bennett. His turnaround in the lane's no good, and the rebound finally comes down into the hands of Zach Gunn as Noah Smith brings it up front, gives it to Connor Rotterman, and Rotterman with the bucket will trim the deficit to 2 at 14-12 with 1:36 left to go in this first quarter. Bumbelow, right side Gillis, back up top to Bennett, and they'll swing it around to the left side. As Froge finds Bumbelow once again, Bumbelow will back it up with 1:23 left. Froge with the basketball, gets around to Gillis on a pick and roll. Good job by Birchfield getting back, and now committing the turnover with the traveling violation is David Froge. Jack Davidson will sit down for the first time, and Nick Bowman into the lineup for Coach Brian Satterfield and the Royals. Royals trail by 2. And they can tie it with a bucket or take the lead with a 3 here with 1:13 remaining in the first quarter. Smith gets around a Birchfield screen, kicks it out to Rotterman. Rotterman bounce pass to Birchfield at the baseline. Birchfield tried to reverse it, blocked by Bennett. Into the hands of Froge. Froge in the front court, left side, 3 on the way. That's well short by Williamson, and here comes Birchfield the other way. Chaz tries to spin, and it's poked away, and they'll say it went off of David Froge. And now Coach Daniel Cox not in agreement. Titan Bennett will depart, and Jarrett Hurd now into the lineup for the Trojans. And it'll be Southeastern ball with Connor Rotterman triggering the inbounds from the baseline. Looking, finds Gunn, left wing, pops the 3, on its way, off the flange. Smith tries to get the rebound, tipped up, here's Gunn. His runner from the free throw line is up and good. Gunn has 8, and we're tied at 14. 34 seconds remain in the first half, a wild first half. Both teams getting up and down the court. Not a lot of points on the scoreboard compared to the action up and down the court. We're tied at 14. Williamson, up top, this is Bumbelow as Smith went for the steal, working on Bowman. 15 seconds remain. They will find Hurd. They'll send it back up to Bumbelow. Bumbelow top near the center jump circle, working on Connor Rotterman. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, puts the shot up from the left elbow, and Bumbelow gets the bucket. 0.3 of a second remain as Bumbelow's shot is good. That makes it 16-14, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. Back and forth, up and down the court, but still only 16 points for the Trojans and 14 for the Royals. We'll be back with second quarter action after this. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Brian Scott back with you from Hamilton Southeastern High School as we get ready for second quarter action. Fast and furious up and down the court, but both teams missing shots. And after 8 minutes of basketball, the Newcastle Trojans leads Hamilton Southeastern by the score of 16-14. Zach Gunn currently leads all scorers with 8 points. Nia Williamson has 6 for the Trojans on a pair of three-point baskets. The Trojans, they were hot and heavy trying to get that ball in the cup from beyond the arc, but only Williamson's 2 3-pointers were the only ones to drop. Meanwhile, Southeastern also having some issues trying to find some offense once again, and they trail by 2 as we begin the second quarter with Newcastle with the basketball as it is Luke Bumbelow, Nia Williamson, as into the game now Bryce Huntley, Jared Hurd, and Mason Gillis. Here is a 3 by Bumbelow. Rattles out, ball loose. Gillis has the rebound. He'll take it up, reverse it, and not get the bucket. Third time is up and good for Mason Gillis, and now he has 6. Jaron Bond now in for Hamilton Southeastern. He joins Zach Gunn, Connor Rotterman, Aaron Etherington, and Nick Bowman. Left side, this is Rotterman. He'll find Bowman coming off a curl. Bowman backs up. Here's Bond in the lane. Loses the basketball into the hands of Bumbelow. Bumbelow up in the lane and missed the shot as he came right side of the lane. Went right to the cup, but the ball bounced out and into the hands of Etherington. 18-14 in favor of Newcastle as we played a minute here in the second quarter. Jaron Bond right side. Etherington gives it to Gunn. Gunn with a 3. That's good. Gunn now in double figures with 11 points, and that cuts the deficit to 1 at 18-17 with 6:43 left to go in this first half. Bumbelow finds Hurd, and Hurd will back it out. Picked up by Zach Gunn. Royals have stayed in a man-to-man. As now Gillis has the basketball, and Gunn switches off. Bumbelow gets past Jaron Bond, sends it out, but now it's thrown away. Nick Bowman with the basketball takes it up. And as he tries to take it to the cup, he's going to be fouled. And he's going to earn a trip to the free throw line. Our first free throws of the night. Second team foul against Newcastle. And the foul will go against Nia Williamson. Nick Bowman at the free throw line, a 60% free throw shooter on the season. And he hits the first. Substitution as Zach Gunn departs. Aaron Shank now into the lineup for Coach Brian Satterfield. For Nick Bowman, only his 6th free throw of the season. He's now made 4 of 6. And now make it 5 of 7 as he converts on both of those. And that'll give Hamilton Southeastern a 1-point lead at 19-18 after both free throws. Bowman will depart, and Jack Davidson will return to the lineup for Hamilton Southeastern up by 1. With 6:15 left to go in this first half. This is Huntley with the basketball up to the top to Williamson. Williamson gets around Rotterman. Pull-up jumper long off the iron. Shank went up for the rebound, and they're going to call a held ball between Shank and Jared Hurd in the possession arrow. Will give the ball to Hamilton Southeastern. Nia Williamson and Jared Hurd will depart as Titan Bennett is back in. Also, Mason Gillis. 19-18 in favor of Southeastern. 5:51 left to go in the first half. Shank with the basketball. Gives it to Etherington. Finds some room down the left side of the lane. Left shot short. Shank got the rebound. Send it to Davidson to Rotterman for 3. Connor shot rims out, and the ball comes down, fought for by Jaron Bond and Titan Bennett. And they will call a held ball that favors the Trojans. However, the Trojan crowd was looking for a foul on Bond. Didn't come. Instead, Newcastle has the basketball trailing by 1 and 5:32 remaining in the first half. Bumbelow left side, wide open 3 on the way. It's up and good by David Froge. Froge has 5, his first 3, and Newcastle retakes the lead by 2, 21-19. And Davidson now loses it off of his foot as he was trying to get around Froge. Austin Holtzum will re-enter the lineup for the Royals. He'll take over for Connor Rotterman. Rotterman takes a seat. He has 2 points. As Bumbelow brings it right side, gives it off to Huntley. And now he's going to get hit for double dribbled. Had some problems with the exchange, and then he's going to be called for double dribble, and the turnover gives the ball back to Southeastern, down by 2 with 5:08 remaining in this first half of play. And Jaron Bond has it in the front court, left side to Holtzum. Holtzum around a shank screen at the right elbow, picks up his dribble, finds Bond. Bond finds some room. His little right-hander off the glass is up and good. Jaron Bond, with his first points, ties the game at 21. They'll send it over to the corner. 3-ball by Huntley. That's rolls around. Etherington finally corrals the rebound and gives it to Davidson. Davidson into the front court to Shank in the corner. And they're going to call Aaron for traveling. Aaron got the basketball and just kind of slid his foot back to get behind the arc. And it was a bit of a delayed call by the official, but the correct call is he calls traveling against Aaron. And another turnover, and the ball belongs to the Trojans. We're tied at 21 with 4:30 remaining in the first half. Froge gives it to Huntley. Over to Bumbelow. Bumbelow, right side. This is Titan Bennett. Back up to Huntley. They get it to Froge. They get it to the right side. Bennett's 3 on the way is up and good. Titan Bennett with a 3-point basket gives the Trojans a 3-point lead at 24-21. Almost halfway through this second quarter. Long-range 3 up and good. Aaron Etherington answers that 3 with one of his own to tie the game at 24. 3:50 remains in the first half as Bumbelow will find Gillis at the top of the key, works against Etherington, loses the basketball. Shank picks it up, tried to outlet it to Davidson, but there in the way was Bumbelow, and Gillis trying to put it up. He's going to be fouled from behind. A good foul, really, by Aaron Shank as he denied the basket. Aaron will pick up the personal foul, his first, third team foul, and it's going to send Mason Gillis to the line for 2. Gillis on the season is a 73% free throw shooter, but he hits the first. Zach Gunn will return for Aaron Shank, and also Noah Smith back into the lineup for Jaron Bond. Meanwhile, Bryce Huntley comes in. Gillis' second free throw is good. He cans them both. He has 8 points. And the Trojans lead by 2 at 26-24 with 3:30 remaining in this first half. Davidson to Smith. They find Gunn at the free throw line. Gunn over to Austin Holtzum. Eludes his man, gives it to Etherington down low. Back to Gunn. Long range 3, top of the key is up and good by Zach Gunn. 14 points for Zach Gunn, and the Royals lead by 1 at 27-26 after that 3-point basket. 3 minutes left to go in the half. Bumbelow falls down but is able to get it over to Williamson. Left side to Froge. Long range 3 is up and good. And now a whistle. Froge's 3 is good, and a whistle. No foul is going to be called. Austin Holtzum got tied up, it looked like, with Luke Bumbelow. And there was a whistle, but no fouls called. So the 3 gives the Trojans the 2-point lead, 29-27. Smith around an Etherington high ball screen. We'll give it to Davidson near the center jump circle. Davidson drives to the cup. His shot's rejected, but Davidson's going to earn a trip to the free throw line on the blocking foul by David Froge. 13 foul against the Trojans, and Jack Davidson will be at the free throw line, a 92% free throw shooter on the season. That first free throw is good. Chaz Birchfield will come in for Aaron Etherington. Royals trail by 1, but Davidson has one more free throw coming up at free throw is Jack's first points of the game. That one, though, however, rims out and into the hands of Titan Bennett. So the Trojans keep the lead with a 1-point lead at 29-28. 2:22 remains in the first half as Williamson gets it to Froge. Froge sends it right side. Bennett's three on the way is up and good. Titan Bennett has hit his second three-point basket. It is the sixth three-point field goal for the Trojans in this game, and they now lead by 4. 2 minutes left to go in the first half. Gunn works, spins, leaves that one on the rim, and Bennett comes down with a rebound for the Trojans. Trojans with the basketball. As they move, the ball stolen away by Smith. Smith takes it, drives up off the glass, no good, rebounded by the Trojans. There comes Newcastle the other way. Pull-up jumper on the way by Froge is no good, and it is Gunn with a rebound. 1:30 left in the first half. Southeastern trails by 4. Down low to Birchfield in the low blocks, back out to Holtzum. Holtzum around a Birchfield screen will pop the shot from the free throw line and nail it. Austin Holtzum with his first field goal, and it's a 32-30 Newcastle lead with 1:10 remaining in the first half. With the basketball is Bumbelow. He will drive, rejected by Zach Gunn. Here's Austin Holtzum leading the break, leaves it to Davidson, who loses the basketball, but it goes off of the leg of Nia Williamson, so the Royals will retain possession, trailing by 2 with 53.1 seconds remaining in this first half of basketball. Noah Smith will trigger the inbound, and he'll get it to Holtzum, right side to Gunn. Gunn finds Davidson. Davidson, right-hand runner, halfway down, comes back out. 44 seconds remain in the first half. Newcastle up 32-30. And David Froge with the basketball right side to Nia Williamson. Bit of a push-off, no whistle called. As Williamson gives it to Froge with 23 seconds remaining as Trojans trying to hold for the final shot. Froge trying to elude Austin Holtzum. He'll back it up with 12 seconds, and now Coach Daniel Cox with 12.7 seconds actually will call a 30-second timeout with the Trojans leading Hamilton Southeastern 32-30. I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining me for Royals basketball on a Tuesday night. First ever meeting between Newcastle and Hamilton Southeastern. And a pretty big meeting with a couple of very, very good teams. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Trojans have lost 3 games all season long by a grand total of 5 points. So a good basketball team. They like to shoot the three, and we've seen that here in the first half as they have connected on 6 3-point baskets. So 18 of their 32 points coming from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Southeastern, they have 6 3-point baskets, 2 of them from Zach Gunn, who has 14 points. Newcastle will throw it into the backcourt where Bumbelow will retrieve it. Under 10 seconds remain. He'll find Gillis at the left elbow, give it to Benton. 3 ball on the way, halfway down, comes out. Here's Smith, and it's tipped out of bounds with 0.4 of a second remaining as Noah was trying to get it to Holtzum. So not much they can do but tip and try to throw it and tip it with 0.4 of a second remaining. And they will get Aaron Etherington in to give a little more height down near the basket where they'll try to lob it down toward the basket and see if Etherington, Gunn, or Birchfield can tip it with 0.4 of a second remaining. They'll throw it, and it'll be intercepted by Titan Bennett, and that's the end of the first half. Played 16 minutes of basketball, and the Newcastle Trojans lead the Hamilton Southeastern Royals by the score of 32-30. Stay tuned. Coming up, we'll have some halftime stats, tell you what's happening in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference as play begins this week. This is Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. Halftime at Hamilton Southeastern High School with our score. Newcastle leading the Royals by the score of 32-30. I'm Brian Scott. Welcome to our halftime show here on Audio Sports Online. Time to take a look at what's happening in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference as we are winding down the regular season. Just a few weeks remain, and as we head into play this week, let's take a look at what happened last week. Of course, last Thursday, Hamilton Southeastern fell to Columbus North by the score of 57-47. Fishers defeated Westfield 66-49. Noblesville, they beat Brownsburg in an upset 43-41. And it was Zionsville getting a scare from Avon as the Orioles took them to overtime but fall to Zionsville 76-71. Last Saturday, of course, Southeastern defeated Westfield 75-64. Avon, they lost to Ben Davis 66-60. Noblesville, they edged out Mount Vernon 34-32, and Zionsville defeated Decatur Central 76-51. Taking a look at action this week, a lot of action taking place tonight. Avon is at Perry Meridian. Brownsburg is at Southport. Fishers is at Anderson. Newcastle, of course, is here against the Royals. And Westfield is up at Harrison against former Hoosier Crossroads Conference team Harrison. This Friday, a lot of action. Avon is at Danville. Hamilton Southeastern, we will be in Carmel as we will bring you the Greyhounds and the Royals. Manual, it will be at Brownsburg. Zionsville will host Lebanon in a Boone County matchup. Fishers host Pendleton Heights, and Westfield will be at Hamilton Heights. And then wrapping it up on Saturday, Fishers will host Franklin Central. Noblesville will be at Indianapolis Tech, and Zionsville will be at Anderson. So that's what the schedule looks like for this week. Taking a look at the HCC, Zionsville is at the top of the conference with a perfect 5-0 record, and Hamilton Southeastern would need some help if they want to be co-champions with the Eagles. Zionsville 5-0 in the conference, 13-5 overall, and winners of their last two. Southeastern is in sole possession of second place, 4-1 in the conference, 15-4 overall. Brownsburg, that was a costly loss last week to Noblesville. They're now 3-2 in the conference, 11-5 overall. Noblesville 2-3 in conference play, 9-9 overall, but they have won their last two. Fishers is now 2-3 in the conference, 7-10 overall. Avon 6-11 overall, 2-3 in the conference as well, but the Orioles have lost their last three. And Westfield still looking for their first conference win at 0-6, 4-12 overall. As the teams are back out on the floor, ready for second half warm-ups, let's give you our stats through the first 16 minutes of basketball. For the visiting Newcastle Trojans, they were led by David Froge and Mason Gillis, each with 8 points apiece. 6 points from Nia Williamson as well as Titan Bennett. 4 points from Luke Bumblow. Bryce Huntley played, and Jared Hurd played. They did not score. For Newcastle, 6 3-point baskets in that first half. 2 from David Froge, 2 from Nia Williamson, and 2 from Titan Bennett, the big man. They were also 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. For the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, leading all scorers with 14 points is Zach Gunn. 5 points from Aaron Etherington. 2 points each from Nick Bowman, Austin Holsom, Chaz Birchfield, Jaron Bond, Connor Rotterman. 1 point for Jack Davidson. Aaron Shank and Noah Smith have played. They have not scored. Southeastern is 3 of 4 from the free throw line and has also hit 3 3-point baskets. The Royals trailed by 2 after the end of the first quarter at 16-14. Both teams scored 16 points in the second quarter, and that's our score at the half, with the Trojans leading 32-30 as we get ready for second half action. As we mentioned, we've seen a lot of three-point attempts being jacked up by the Trojans in this basketball game, and for a game that has seen a lot of action running to both ends of the court, not a lot of points, albeit it's seemingly in that first half, though we are on a pace for both teams to score about 60 points. That's under Southeastern's average, and that'd be right about the average you would expect for Newcastle. So we'll see what Coach Brian Satterfield can do as we get ready for the second half. Foul problems, there weren't any. There were actually very few fouls called in that first half. Nobody with more than one personal. As a matter of fact, both teams only had 3 team fouls each in that first half. So nobody in any foul trouble, and we'll look to see what what Coach Satterfield can do here in the second half and who he elects to start here in this second half. And those starters will be Aaron Etherington, Austin Holsom, Zach Gunn, Noah Smith, and Jack Davidson. Those are the starting five that began the game. And for Coach Daniel Cox, he will have his starting five of Luke Bumbleau, David Froge, Nia Williamson, Mason Gillis, and Titan Bennett. So we're about ready to begin the second half here from Hamilton Southeastern High School. The Royals will have the ball to begin the second half as Holsom will throw it to Noah Smith, and the second half is underway with Smith bringing it left side and giving it to Holsom between the circles. Austin left side back to Smith, down low to Zach Gunn, and that pass a little off target. Gunn reached out for it, could only tip it out of bounds, and a quick turnover to begin the second half for Southeastern gives the ball back to the Trojans, up by 2 at 32-30. Froge to Bumbleau. They go right side to Bennett. He tries to get it to Gillis. Gillis down low, has the ball knocked away by Holsom, but into the hands of Luke Bumbleau, and Bumbleau is able to take the fortunate bounce his way and turn it into 2 points, and the Trojans score the first points in the second half. They lead by 4, 34-30. Etherington with the basketball, gives it to Noah Smith, to Jack Davidson. Davidson did not hit a field goal. He just had one free throw in that first half. Holsom finds Zach Gunn. Gunn works, spins, left-hand little hook, no good. Gillis has the rebound and lays it out there for Bumbleau. Bumbleau right side. They send the three ball by Williamson. That shot's no good, but Froge is able to track down the loose ball. Sends it to Bennett in the corner. His three, that's off, but the ball comes to the other corner where Bumbleau picks it back up. So they get a couple of second chance opportunities, do the Trojans, as Gillis, he was able to feed Froge, but the defense collapsed quickly. Gillis back out. Williamson's three is on the way, and this time, third time's a charm, as the Trojans take advantage of several second chance opportunities, and Brian Satterfield's going to call a quick 30-second timeout as we are 6 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in this third period, and he's watched the Trojans score the first 5 points. And again, sometimes the ball bounces your way, but sometimes you get a couple of nice second chance opportunities, and the Trojans made the most of them by finally capitalizing with Nia Williamson's three from the corner. 37-30, that's our score, as we've played a minute 46 of this third quarter, as Jack Davidson's going to have to go to the other end of the court after the timeout because they'll still have to inbound the basketball. He will do so and give it to Noah Smith, who will just tap it right back to Jack. Royals looking for their first point in the second half. Davidson around an Etherington screen. Picks up his dribble, finds Zach Gunn. Gunn down to Etherington. Etherington lays it up off the glass, and a nice job on a good find, and Etherington has 7 points. And the Royals have their first points of the second half to trail by 5. Right side, that's Williamson. Up top to Gillis. Left side to Froge. He'll pop the three. Shot no good. Gillis skies for the rebound. The basket will not count. The foul occurred on the floor, but Gillis knifed through several Royals defenders to get the rebound and then was fouled. And they'll call Zach Gunn for the foul. That's his first, as Etherington will depart, and Chaz Birchfield now in for Brian Satterfield. 37-32, 5:37 left to go third quarter. As Gillis drives, works on Birchfield, gets it over Gunn, misses the shot. Birchfield has the rebound. Chaz will leave it left side to Zach. Zach kicks it back out to Birchfield. Wide open three on the way, rattles it home. Chaz does not shoot many threes. He makes very few. But wide open, he buries the three to make it a 2-point game at 35 with 5:09 left to go third quarter. Right side, this is Williamson. Works, and he's going to get hit with the offensive foul. Just lowered a shoulder right into Jack Davidson. And an easy call for the officials. Nia Williamson will pick up his second personal first team foul against the Trojans in the second half. And the ball goes back to Southeastern, who, after trailing by 5, could tie it with a bucket or take the lead with a 3 on this possession. 37-35. Under 5 left to go third quarter. Here's Zach Gunn. Thought about the 3, pulls it down. Left-hand runner. That's left short. Tapped out, and here comes Froge the other way. Tries to fake it, gives the ball to Bumbelow, who backs it up and now loses it. Birchfield comes away with it and lost it briefly, and now they're going to say it went off of the Trojans. Birchfield lost it, but they're going to say it was knocked out of bounds by the Trojans. Meanwhile, Luke Bumbelow looking for telling the officials there's a wet spot, and the official not finding any. Gives the ball to Southeastern to inbound. So Trojan crowd not all that happy. Royals with the basketball trailing by 2. 4:25 left to go third quarter. Here is Gunn. Thought about the 3, but then instead gives it to Davidson. Davidson, right side to Holtzum. Austin gives it to Birchfield. Birchfield at the free throw line just pulls up short, and the rebound by Bennett for the Trojans. Bumbelow drives, and he will lay it up and get the bucket. Nobody really stopped the basketball, and Bumbelow just kept on taking it to the cup. A little more than halfway through the third quarter, and the Trojans lead 39-35, but Chaz Birchfield with a nice move and a reverse layup. Chaz has 7 to cut the deficit to 2. 39-37, Trojans with the lead and the basketball. As Gillis drives in the lane, stops, now sends it out to Froge, who will drive right side. Had it briefly poked away, gathered it back up, left the layup off the rim, but came back the other side and picked up the basketball. Gunn with a rebound. He'll give it to Birchfield, back to Zach. Zach in the lane and finishes it off. Gunn with 16 points. We're tied at 39 with 3:13 left to go in this third quarter. Bumbelow had it poked away and stopped by Noah Smith, but was able to grab the basketball and gives it to Nia Williamson. Under 3 minutes left to go third quarter, tied at 39. As Gillis goes right side as Bennett makes a move, throws it off the side of the backboard and actually able to get it. Birchfield taps it out, gets the loose ball, takes it himself, misses it, holds him there. He can't get the putback. Ball goes out of bounds, and they will say it went off of David Froge, and the ball will remain with the Royals at this end of the court. Austin Holtzum will depart. Jack Davidson will depart. Connor Rotterman and Aaron Etherington will return. Tied at 39, Royals with the basketball. Rotterman triggering the inbounds from the baseline. Looks, lobs it out to Birchfield. Gets the basketball back, gets a screen from Gunn, drives in the lane, scoop, lays it up, missed the shot. And Mason Gillis has the rebound, giving it to Luke Bumbelow. Tied at 39 still with 2:25 left to go in the third quarter. Bumbelow left side finds Nia Williamson. Williamson working on Etherington. Royals in the man-to-man. As Bumbelow gets the basketball back, he finds Froge wide open for a 3, but misses it, and getting the rebound on the backside is Etherington. He finds Gunn in the lane, loses the basketball. Another turnover. Bumbelow outlets to Gillis, who lost it himself. And back-to-back turnovers, and now the Royals have the basketball again. Rotterman makes a move. His shot no good. There's Gunn with a weak side rebound and the putback. 18 points for Zach Gunn, and Southeastern regains the lead 41-39. A minute 38 left to go in this third quarter of play. Bumbelow guarded by Noah Smith. Looks for the screen and now loses the basketball. Smith with a steal, takes it, lays it up, gets the bucket and one. Noah Smith with the steal, the hoop, and the harm as he'll go to the free throw line. Foul's going to be called against Mason Gillis, his first, team second. And Noah is headed for the and one. Noah, a 71% free throw shooter on the season. David Froge out, as well as Titan Bennett. In is Garrett Welch, as well as Bryce Huntley. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, Noah Smith with the and one. His first points of the basketball game on that layup, and now he misses the three-point opportunity as Mason Gillis gets the rebound. But Southeastern now leads by 4 at 43-39 with a minute 18. Driving, Huntley. Shot rejected by Smith, but chased down by Williamson. Gillis picks it up, now gives the ball to Nia Williamson once again. Left side to Bumbelow, drives in the lane, sends it over to Huntley. Poked out of bounds by Rotterman, and it will remain in the possession of the Trojans with 64 seconds remaining in the third period. 43-39, Southeastern with the lead. And Huntley to inbound right in front of his bench as Bumbelow goes right side to Nia Williamson. They try to get it into Mason Gillis, and it's knocked off of Gillis's leg by Chaz Birchfield. Nick Bowman entering the lineup. He will take over for Noah Smith. 53.4 seconds remain in quarter number 3. Southeastern leads 43-39. We'll see if Southeastern can hold for the final shot. Rotterman gives it to Bowman. Bowman to Etherington. Etherington in the lane, drives late, gets a nice strong move to the cook. And Aaron Etherington now has 9 points, and the lead is 6 for Southeastern with 32 seconds remaining in the third. Driving, left side's Bumbelow, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul as the fans that have made it from Newcastle. We're a long way from the Bronx, but that's what a Bronx cheer sounds like. Foul's going to go against Nick Bowman, his first, second team foul, and it will be Garrett Welch inbounding from the baseline for the Trojans with 27.3 seconds remaining in the third. Still looking, lobs it, manages to get it to Bumbelow. Bumbelow in the lane, right-hand runner, well short. And Gunn has the rebound. Long outlet to Etherington. Etherington is fouled hard. And we'll see if it's an intentional foul or just simply a hard foul to the hoop. And they're just simply going to call it a hard foul. Garrett Welch is hit with a personal, his first, team's third. And Aaron Etherington is at the line. Aaron is a 76% free throw shooter on the season. And he'll have a pair. And he hits the first. Aaron now in double figures with 10 points as Zach Gunn will take a breather and sit the final 18.8 seconds as Aaron Shank is now in. Etherington with one more free throw. Aaron cans them both. He has 11. And the Royals now lead by 8. Garrett Welch will depart, and Titan Bennett back in for Coach Daniel Cox's Newcastle Trojans with 16 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Bumbelow gives the ball to Williamson. Williamson with 5 seconds, drives, right-hand runner, no good. Put back up and in by Mason Gillis. And Gillis is now in double figures. That three-quarter court shot by Connor Rotterman would not have counted. And that's the end of 3 quarters of play here from Hamilton Southeastern High School. Our score, the Royals lead the Trojans of Newcastle 47-41. Back with the final quarter after this is Royals basketball on ASO. Back with the fourth and final quarter from Hamilton Southeastern High School. Your score, the Royals leading Newcastle 47-41. I'm Brian Scott. Royals outscore Newcastle 17-9 in the third quarter. Led by as much as 8, they lead by 6 as we start the final quarter. And the Trojans will have the basketball with Luke Bumblow, Bryce Huntley, David Froge, Titan Bennett, and Mason Gillis on the court. As they get it to Gillis, we'll give you the Royals lineup in just a moment. Gillis makes a move, gets it poked away by Birchfield, but there was Bennett on the backside to get the loose ball. Froge to Bumblow. Froge will put up the three. I think that shot was partially blocked by Connor Rotterman. Here's Etherington. He will skip in the lane, and Aaron Etherington will finish the break. 13 points from Aaron Etherington, and quickly here come the Trojans, slapped away. Bowman with the basketball. Bowman will back it up as they didn't have the numbers, and now Birchfield saw the wide open three and just took one extra step trying to step into it. On the court for Brian Satterfield to begin the fourth quarter, Aaron Shank, Aaron Etherington, Chaz Birchfield, Nick Bowman, and Connor Rotterman. 49-41, just underway fourth quarter. Southeastern with the lead. Newcastle with the basketball. The Trojans led by 2 at the break, but now find themselves trailing by 8 as that ball knocked out of bounds by Nick Bowman. Zach Gunn will return to the lineup. Chaz Birchfield will sit. Chaz leaves with 7 points as they get the ball into Bryce Huntley for the Trojans. Played just over a minute here in the fourth. Here's Froge. His three from the right wing is up and good. Froge now with 11 points. And it makes it a 5-point Southeastern lead. Gunn thought about the three. Bowman gets the ball back as he tried to feed Shank. Ball tipped away, and here comes Newcastle the other way. Pull up three by Bumblow. That's well off, and it will go out of bounds, and it will belong to Newcastle. Nia Williamson back in. He'll take over for Bryce Huntley. And with that move, Noah Smith will come off the bench for Brian Satterfield and replace Nick Bowman. 6:32 remains, 49-44 in favor of Southeastern, but the Trojans have the basketball. As Nia Williamson left side to Luke Bumblow, down low to Mason Gillis. Works against Aaron Shank, spins, moves, tries to get the shot up off the glass. Shot's no good, but he's going to earn a trip to the free throw line as Aaron Shank is going to be hit with his second personal. Third team foul. Not a lot of fouls called in this game. There were only 3 team fouls apiece in the first half and just 3 right now as we have just begun the fourth quarter as Mason Gillis hits the free throw. Jack Davidson will come in for Connor Rotterman. Connor leaves with 2 points. Davidson only with 1 point in this game. That's a free throw in the second quarter. Meanwhile, Gillis with 1 more free throw on the way, and he gets the free throw. He now has 12 points, and it's down to a 3-point lead for Southeastern as we see a 1-2-2 press now by the Trojans, and Southeastern gets it in the front court. Noah Smith, left side. Aaron Etherington all alone for 3 from the corner. That one's no good. Ball's loose. Great save by Davidson. Etherington gives it to Gunn, and Gunn finishes it off. All done by a great save by Davidson to save the basketball. Etherington found Gunn underneath, and Gunn finished it off to put the lead back to 5 with 5:53 left to go in the fourth quarter. Luke Bumblow as he tries to lob it into Mason Gillis, poked away by Zach Gunn. The ball will remain in hands of Newcastle. Titan Bennett to inbound as he gets to Mason Gillis, and Gillis will find Nia Williamson. Back to David Froge. Froge, the free throw line, backs it up, finds Luke Bumblow. Bumblow cut off by Davidson, now backs it up to the center jump circle as he tries to send it right side to David Froge. It's poked out of bounds by Noah Smith. 5:33 left to go, 51-46. Southeastern leads by 5. Bennett lobs it into the backcourt where it's chased down by Nia Williamson, who will hand the ball off to Luke Bumblow to bring it back across the timeline. Left side, Williamson, as now we're getting the foul. Trojan fans were getting a little worked up. They thought the initial contact by Aaron Etherington warranted a foul, and then the second contact drew the whistle. Here's Froge, a hand in his face, and he managed to stick it. It's a 2. As Froge hits the bucket, he has 13 points, got it over Noah Smith. It's a 3-point game in favor of Southeastern with 5 minutes left to go. Here's Davidson wide open for 3 and nailed it. Davidson with his first field goal to the contest. It's from beyond the arc. He has 4 points, 54-48 Southeastern. Here's Froge going to try to answer it, and he does. David Froge hits his second 3 of the quarter. 8 points in the quarter, 16 in the game, and 4 3-point baskets in the contest, as Coach Daniel Cox will call a 30-second timeout. That 3 once again makes it a one-possession game, a 3-point lead for Southeastern at 54-51. I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining me for Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. Our next ball game will be this Friday. We will be at Carmel High School when the Royals take on their rival Carmel Greyhounds. JV game will be at 6 o'clock. Varsity game at 7:30, and it can be seen right here on Audio Sports Online. Out of the timeout for Coach Brian Satterfield, it will be Jack Davidson, Noah Smith, Chaz Birchfield, Aaron Etherington, and Zach Gunn. For Coach Daniel Cox, Luke Bumbleau, David Froge, Nia Williamson, Mason Gillis, and Titan Bennett. So starters out there for the Trojans as they set up the press. And now they'll back out of it as Southeastern will be allowed to bring it into the front court uncontested. Noah Smith handles the basketball. As he gets a screen from Etherington, they were trying to set up a pick and roll. They'll send it back to Gunn over to Birchfield. Birchfield gets his man in the air and now will terminate his dribble and find Zach Gunn. 4:17 left to go in the fourth. Here's Gunn in the lane, gets the kind roll on the rim. 22 points for Zach Gunn, and it's up to a 5-point lead once again for Southeastern as we are midway through the fourth. Stolen away by Aaron Etherington. He picked that one clean and hands it off to Zach Gunn. Gunn to Noah Smith as the Royals will slow things down. This game has been played at a fairly good clip. Both teams getting up and down. Noah drives, left-hander, left it off the glass, but left it short. Gillis with a rebound. He finds Bumbleau. Bumbleau left side. Williamson with a 3, and Nia Williamson's 3 will get the Trojans within 2 at 56-54 with 3:24 left to go in the ball game. 12 points for Williamson now, and they've all been from beyond the arc. Here's Jack Davidson. He gets popped at the free throw line. The official says bring it up, and Birchfield is going to be called for the foul as, look, Bumbleau got the basketball. For Birchfield, his first, but it is the 15th foul now for Hamilton Southeastern compared to 3 for the Trojans. And now substitution as Austin Holtzum will come in for Jack Davidson. Southeastern leads by 2 with 3:10 remaining, but the Trojans have the basketball, and they've hit 3 3-point baskets here in the fourth quarter. Bumbleau spins, left-hand runner is up and good, and we're tied. 10 points for Luke Bumbleau. We're tied at 56, and Coach Brian Satterfield will call a timeout while the Trojan fans that have made their ways to Fishers stand and applaud their Newcastle Trojans. They have battled back from an 8-point deficit to tie the game at 56 with 2:53 left to go in the fourth quarter. I'm Brian Scott. The three-point shot has been the primary weapon of choice for the Trojans tonight. 6 threes in the first half, and here in the second, they've hit 4. So 10 3-point baskets for the Trojans, 30 of their 56 points coming from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Hamilton Southeastern not quite as prolific from beyond the arc tonight. They have hit 5. And the Royals are also 5 of 7 from the free throw line, whereas Newcastle, shooting so many of these shots from the perimeter, has only got to the line 4 times tonight. They are 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Out of the timeout for Coach Brian Satterfield, Jack Davidson, Aaron Etherington, Zach Gunn, Noah Smith, and Chaz Birchfield. It'll be Titan Bennett, Mason Gillis, David Froge, Luke Bumbelow, and Nia Williamson. And now Jack Davidson will come in. So it is now Davidson, Gunn, Birchfield, Etherington, and Smith. 2:46 remain. We're tied at 56, and as Davidson gets the basketball, he is immediately fouled on a reach-in. Foul's going to be called against David Froge, his second, team fourth. And Davidson will take it out right in front of the Southeastern bench across the way. And find Chaz Birchfield. Birchfield to Etherington. 2:40 remains. We're tied at 56. And now Noah Smith with the basketball. Davidson, right wing, directing traffic, finds Birchfield, top of the key. Zach finds Zach Gunn all alone. Chaz finds Zach Gunn. Gunn gets the bucket, sprawled out on the court is Mason Gillis, but we're going to have a timeout called by Brian Satterfield. So Brian Satterfield's calling a 30-second timeout. That's his second 30-second. He has 2 full timeouts. Excuse me, he only has 1 timeout remaining, as that bucket from Zach Gunn gives him 24 points. And the Royals have a 2-point lead with 2:19 remaining. Royals with 5 team fouls. The Trojans with 4. And on the court after the timeout, Zach Gunn, Aaron Etherington, Austin Holtzum, Noah Smith, and Chaz Birchfield. Mason Gillis joins Luke Bumbelow, Nia Williamson, David Froge, and Titan Bennett for Newcastle. And 2:17 remains in regulation. Bumbelow, right side, gets the ball to Williamson, bounce pass to Bennett, down low, works against Gunn. Gunn got the block, and Birchfield has the ball. Trojans have not had a lot of success down in the low blocks, and primarily due to Zach Gunn's defensive presence. Under 2 minutes left to play, Royals up by 2. As Noah Smith gives it to Austin Holtzum. Austin with the basketball. Picks up his dribble and finds Zach Gunn. 58-56, Royals with the basketball and the 2-point lead. Noah Smith with it, and 1:38 remains. Noah stop and go. Finds Zach Gunn, wide open for 3, and Zach Gunn splashes it. Zach Gunn's 3 widens the lead to 5 for Hamilton Southeastern, and driving, and they will call this foul on the floor. No basket. David Froge was fouled by Austin Holtzum. His first, team 6, so the next team foul by Southeastern will put the Trojans in the bonus. 1:24 remains. Here's Smith. He stole it. He'll race to the other end, and he'll lay it up and in. Noah with only 4 points, but a big steal to lengthen the lead to 7 with 1:10 remaining. Here's Bumbelow. He tried to feed Bennett, and there was Zach Gunn to just steal it right out of his hands, and now as Noah Smith gets the basketball, he's going to be fouled. Foul's going to go, I believe, against David Froge. That would be his 3rd. Team's 5th. So we will have 61 seconds remaining, and Southeastern up by 7, and he'll get the inbound to Connor Rotterman, who will quickly be fouled by Nia Williamson. That'll be his third, team 6. So the next team foul on either team will be their 7th, as Noah Smith will inbound under pressure by the Trojans, as they'll do full court man-to-man. They'll get it into Zach Gunn. They will not foul Zach, however. Gunn gets it into the front court. He'll find Connor Rotterman all alone, and Rotterman will convert. Rotterman with 4 points. The lead is 9. 46 seconds. 3 ball on the way. No good. Noah Smith with a rebound. Noah, left side. He's going to be fouled by Nia Williamson, and we will now go to the other end of the court. That's the 7th team foul, the 4th personal against Nia Williamson, as Chaz Birchfield and Austin Holtzum are set to come in. Noah Smith is set to go to the line. Noah has 4 points, and he's 0 for 1 from the free throw line tonight. Royals lead now by 9 at 65 to 56 with 41.6 seconds remaining, and Noah's free throw is no good. Will go the other way, and shot's no good as ball's loose. And a foul has been called, 7th foul against Hamlin Southeastern. Noah Smith with his 2nd, and at the line will be Luke Bumblow. Bumblow on the season, as he is heading up for the 1-and-1, is a 64% free throw shooter. Bumblow has 10 points in the game, and again, this is his first trip to the free throw line, which he hits the first, he'll get the bonus. 65-57, 32.6 seconds remain. Second free throw is no good. It rims out, and Aaron Etherington has the rebound. And as Etherington starts to bring it up the court, he is going to be fouled from behind, I believe, by Luke Bumblow, which would be his 2nd. Team foul number 8. And Aaron Etherington's going to the line for the 1-and-1. Aaron is 2 of 2 from the line. And Aaron on the night, 13 points. Misses the free throw. Bumblow with a rebound. 27 seconds remain. 65-57. Bumblow launches a forced shot. Gunn with a rebound. Gunn leaves it to Davidson. Davidson will get it into the front court. He'll find Rotterman. Rotterman will give it to Etherington, and Etherington will flush it down with 2 hands. 15 points from Aaron Etherington, a 10-point lead with 4 seconds. And driving is David Froge. He will just finish it off, and that's the end of the basketball game. Final score, Hamlin Southeastern pulls away in the second half with an impressive win over Newcastle, 67-59. We'll have some final stats and final thoughts right after this. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Welcome back to Hamilton Southeastern High School, where the Hamilton Southeastern Royals have defeated Newcastle, impressively so, pulling away in the second half to win by the score of 67-59. A game that saw Newcastle start off hot. They led by 2 after the end of the first quarter, and they led by 2 as we went to the break. Perimeter shooting, that's been the story for Newcastle all game long. They hit 6 3-point baskets. If it wasn't for the three-point shot, this game probably would be an even bigger deficit for the Trojans. They hit 10 on the game, and they simply couldn't hit enough shots, especially in that second quarter, to hang with Hamilton Southeastern, where the Royals came out in the second half and started really doing a good job getting the ball down low, getting it into the hands of Zach Gunn, hitting a few big threes of their own, and in the end they come away with the win by 8, 67-59. Let's give you our final stats for the game. For Newcastle, leading scorer with 18 points was David Froge, 12 points from Mason Gillis, 11 points from Luke Bumbelow, 12 points, I should mention, from Niall Williamson, 6 points from Titan Bennett, and then it was the only players that could score for Newcastle tonight. Bryce Huntley, Garrett Welch, and Jared Hurd all played. They did not score. Newcastle was 5 of 6 from the free throw line, and they did hit 10 3-point shots. For Brian Satterfield's Hamilton Southeastern Royals, game-high scoring went to Zach Gunn with 27 points, 15 points from Aaron Etherington, 7 points from Chaz Birchfield. Then we saw 4 points each from Connor Rotterman, Noah Smith, and Jack Davidson. 2 points each from Nick Bowman and Jaron Bond, and Aaron Shank played. He did not score. Royals didn't go to the free throw line a whole lot tonight. When they did, they were 7-9, and they hit 6 3-point baskets of their own. With a loss, Newcastle falls to 13-4 on the season, while the win improves Hamilton Southeastern's record to 16-4. Our next broadcast, the next basketball game for Hamilton Southeastern, coming up this Friday when the Royals travel to Carmel to take on the Carmel Greyhounds. We'll have the JV game beginning at 6 o'clock. Varsity game to follow, all coming up from Carmel, and that's coming up this Friday on Audio Sports Online. Once again, our final score tonight, Hamilton Southeastern gets a big win against the Trojans for Newcastle in the first ever meeting between these two schools, as the Royals come away with a win 67-59. This is Brian Scott saying, hey, thanks for joining me on this Tuesday night. Look forward to seeing you again on Friday for more Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. Until then, so long, everybody.